We're having an incredible time. Uh, just checking to make sure it's getting live. Okay, so hopefully you saw that. So welcome, Akasha here, Nanakasha. Please join us at nanakasha.com where you'll get all the goodies, all the fun, lots of meditations, lots of free stuff, and lots of really great information. And we'll send you the reminders of every time we go live. So say hi. Let me know how you're doing. Hi. Who is an animal guide that has come to you recently? Okay. Or often? Okay, so in one of my intuition awakening classes, we've been talking about that. We've been spending a little bit of our energy focus to ask to notice the signs, the symbols that are coming. And interestingly, the ones people most easily connect to are the animals, right? I just remembered I have to go check and make sure, am I okay? Am I live? Live, am I live? So I have a new checklist here to make sure that somebody's watching me. And so what I want to do today, we're doing this incredible series. So I'm gonna be a good host. I'm just like, are we working? All right, so what this is called is Messages, Messengers, and Medicine. What does that mean? Well, we are constantly in the environment, right? We're constantly in an energetic matrix, soup, whatever you want to think about it. And there are animals, there's weather, there's the sun, there's the moon, there's stuff happening all the time. There's people. And when you have the awareness to stop running in your life, in your head, planning and trying to please everybody and being distracted all the time with so much stuff that's everybody else's story and opinion, and you start to realize that your life and your purpose is actually here and you're not listening to it, okay? And we have awesome guidance all the time. Okay, thank you. I finally got the confirmation from my team. I'm trying to create a habit here. So good. And hi, Cheryl. Oh, good. I'm good. I'm good. And so we have this awesome opportunity to start to wake up. When we wake up, we become aware. When we wake up, we become aware of what we've been doing, dreaming, what we've been acting, who we've been playing, and that all of that is not who we are. It's just something that we're playing with, we brought with to complete, and so on. So the reflection of your life is what you are emitting. Okay, so if you're angry all the time, then your world's going to reflect angry things. You're going to vibrate at that rate. And when you have the awareness at a higher level, even when you're feeling bad and stuff's happening and you can't stand it and you don't know what to do, you're like, this sucks. When you become spiritual, right? When you decide to be love, it doesn't mean that you let everybody do anything they want to you. It doesn't mean you don't speak up or you don't have an opinion. In fact, it means the exact opposite. But we were also raised to be little rule followers, to behave the way everyone else and all the structures, government, schools, families, whatever, have, said, behave this way, behave this way. Now, I believe in some rules. Let's all obey the traffic rules, please, so we don't hurt each other. However, we are breaking out of old paradigms so fast right now that our identity is wobbly and we don't know what we really want. We might be holding on to things and goals and dreams, or we might be carrying a lot of negative vibes of shame, or guilt, or blame, or fear, loss, anger, craving, whatever. Any of those things from unfulfilled desires or things that happened or didn't happen the way you wanted, or people who hurt you, or terrible abuse that you suffered, or things that you just worked so hard to do and had all this success and then boom, it all went away, or something happened. You have to become aware enough that you go for your truth. And on the way to your inner truth, you will run into your blocks, your fears, your vows, your contracts, wherever energetically they're being carried within your field, which is many, many layers of your light body. So the beauty is that we're not alone. And the minute that we realize, okay, what's happening around me is a reflection of who I am being, and I don't understand why this person keeps coming and arguing with me. And I have a client who doesn't seem to have this problem anymore, but had a lot of landlord problems. And it came and went, and it seemed to mirror the problems in the family. So when you have big inner patterns, like with your family, then you're going to have that in other relationships in your life. I had no self-esteem most of my life, none. And I was out achieving great things because I wanted to be the best, and I have a lot of energy, and I can figure a lot of things out, and I could do 25 things at once and work 24 hours a day. And it was the motivation that was toxic. And that's what we have to break free from. What do you want to put your energy towards? What do you want to build? Are you going to a work environment? Are you doing something in your free time? Are you even giving yourself any free time, right? Are you craving to live somewhere different? Is your living situation not ideal? And you're making that depress you instead of inspire you, okay? I really honestly don't know if I ever truly believed I would live on the beach. I just knew I always wanted to. But it was something that came along a little bit. Got out of college, had a degree in fashion design. The choice was New York or LA. Well, hell, I'm going to the beach, okay? And then I did live for a while in Texas, where I was a few hours from the beach. Then I went back to San Diego, where I was 8 minutes from the beach. And when I look back and I can see the pattern of how that being a soul desire, because the medicine of the beach is so powerful for me. I could go to the beach during my divorce or during something that was happening that was epically horrific, and I would start to relax. I could breathe. I could let go of that claustrophobic feeling. That's medicine. Messages come to you when you think, I need to go to the beach. Okay? I need to be at the beach. That's your soul saying that. So then instead of going, but I can't go to the beach because I couldn't at the time, say, I really would love the medicine of the beach, whatever it is for you, right? And it doesn't have to be something huge, like I need to own the Eiffel Tower, okay? Let go of all the big giant goals and the big giant money and the big giant everything has to be perfect right now. What we want to do is get to where we can hear our own inner voice and then not just see the reflection of everything that's happening within us, because we're all evolving. You're on a path. I'm sorry, you're spiraling up, which is great, but you're going to keep spiraling up. There isn't a goalpost when you get there and you go, oh, I'm perfect now. Everything will never change. That's not why you're in a body. You're here to evolve in a body, and your expertise is completing the old patterns and coming into the new body, creating the new world that we're doing, even though we have no friggin' clue how or what. We have to be present in the breakdown. So as you're present in the breakdown of your life and the deconstruction of our entire paradigm, which is a good thing, okay? We are going through it. The more we can hold a higher vibration and realize that we are not creating it ourselves. So the animal spirit kingdom is here, and they want you to know you're not alone, but you're not alone for a couple different reasons. They're saying that you're not alone. Hey, remember, other things are here, okay? Wake up, stop thinking only of you. Let me do this thing. Let me not worry of how about it impacts everything else on the planet. And that's been a lot of the human footprint. The beautiful thing now is we are waking up and we're being more conscious. And there's people like you and I who are living in love and learning to love ourselves despite what everybody told us. And we're finding underneath that we have a beauty we can't even imagine. And it's time for it to be birthed. So we're going through the messy meltdown of the metamorphosis. So the butterfly is such a profound and beautiful animal spirit guide. And we have butterfly time right now. They migrate into Mexico right onto my house, right over. So when we're out there in the morning swimming, they come right over our heads. So the significance is powerful, but how do you read butterfly medicine? So today we're going to be talking about animal medicine guides. And this could be an animal in a form, like a dolphin that we go to the retreat and we kiss and we hug and we play and we meditate with, and now we're connected for life. Or it could be a dolphin spirit guide, or it could be the dolphin collective, or other aspects of that dolphin consciousness. So when they come, there's, we know that the traditional thing, okay, what's the message of a butterfly? Well, we see the beauty of the butterfly. We see the color. We see how they're just like this. It's just like they're standing there going, look, look, look at me. I'm fabulous. Look at everything. Look, everybody. They're being seen. They're not shy. They don't have self-esteem problems. And we know that they started out as this little wormy caterpillar, and somehow they changed themselves so completely that unless you had seen it, you wouldn't believe it was them. What's the message? You can too. You're ready to spread your wings. You're ready to show your colors. You're ready to be who you are, but you don't even know who you are. You're walking around as the dang caterpillar, which is fine, but there's a time for the caterpillar to go away. And it knows it has an imaginal cell. So do we. I believe we do. I believe it's a soul trigger. And I believe it comes from our 8 original cells at the base of our spine where our kundalini is. And it emerges and says, that doesn't work anymore. This doesn't work anymore. We're breaking things down. Then you lose your identity, just like the caterpillar. You don't have any idea who you are. And nothing is added to the cocoon and nothing is taken away. So you can't use the excuse of, well, the cocoon, the caterpillar had a dad with money or had a corporate job, so they started their business and they were more successful than me because I didn't, or whatever. The caterpillar doesn't get anything new, and it doesn't get rid of anything in order to turn into the butterfly. There's profound messages there, right? And the medicine is you can too. So depending on how you see the butterflies, like I'm getting them flying over me. Well, there's a lot of butterflies. So then what does it mean? If you see something every day or you see a lot of something, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, it's so significant, right? However, if it's rare, if it's unusual behavior, if they're coming out at night and they're day, or vice versa, if they're flying over the beach this morning, I'm going to share the video with you in a minute. 9 flamingos flew over the beach while I was watching the sunrise. And they're very hard to see, these birds, against the blue sky. So often I don't see them until they're almost gone. And often, and they could just fly right over you and you won't know. Rarely they honk. And the pictures are very difficult to get them to come out because it doesn't know where to focus. It's looking into this field of blue for these little things. But I got a really good video. And they're very powerful guides for me. Now, they don't normally come on the beach, so it's significant because it's unusual. It's not unusual because I live in Siberia. What's a flamingo doing here? They live over there, okay? There's lagoons and lagoons and lagoons all along the coastline, both directions. They go back and forth. Sometimes they used to go to Florida, but I hear they don't much anymore. And they have all their nests here. So when we go to town and we drive past the lagoons, we will often see them. And so it's not that I can't see a flamingo, but when it's at sunrise, I'm doing my prayers, my connection to the earth and to the Mayan prayer that I do, to the 7 directions. I'm activating my light body. Cheryl and some of you know what that means. I'm doing all of my morning routine, but on the beach. And I'm doing it to the sunrise. And so, the water is there, and that's an element, and we'll talk about that another day. And so all these things have medicine and messages. When I'm in the water, I'm in the water. It has medicine and messages for me. So depending what I see, I see pelicans every day. So I don't really go, oh my God, a pelican, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? And try to figure it out unless they're doing something unusual. Right? If they sit near me or they float out in front of us and we're sitting by the beach and they're just floating for an hour, that's unusual. Okay, then I notice. So the butterflies have been coming. So what I noticed instead was, oh, look, there's butterflies going by there. Okay, that just means there's a migration happening. But when one comes right over my crown, the other day, a yellow one flitted around really big, went like in circles near me, and then right over my crown and straight forward to the beach. That's significant to me. I could feel it in my crown. chakra, everything up here. And of course, it was yellow, and that gives it a significance and all the colors and so on. So there were also one day enormous black dragonflies, and they were coming in too with the butterflies. And I personally have never seen that. I've seen the butterflies come before, and I've seen them around my house, and a black dragonfly, huge one, was outside on my patio while I was working yesterday, nearly 8 hours or more, just sitting with me. And a butterfly did that the other day. So these are what you do, is you notice, oh, there's a dragonfly. I love dragonflies. I do personally love dragonflies. They're very mystical, between the worlds. They're magical. They know how to use vibration to fly. They don't flap their wings. They use little, it's sacred geometry kind of thing. And they move in and out of the worlds, and they have compound eyes, which means they can see multiple perspectives all at the same time. Think about that. So all the different messages, but if it's just normal for them to come. And these were big, and they were black. They're different than the small little blue ones or the damselflies. So you want to look at the details just like you do in intuitive work, just like in the summer camp, which we're going to start in July. Oh, I hope you come. We're going to do this: messengers, messages, and medicine. And we're going to go into these different areas: magical creatures. We're going to go into fairies. We're going to go into animal spirit guides. We're going to go into elementals. We're going to go into gods, goddesses. We're going to go into ascended masters. We're going to learn how to activate our intuition very fast, because that's what's happening right now. So all the tools that we have used are being updated and upgraded, and then we're using the energies of the summer, which is, to me, kind of like hitting the top of a wave if you're a surfer, and the wave just keeps going for a while until about August, end of August or so. So it's a great time to use that energy. And come tomorrow and play with me at the Solstice Festival. We're going to have a fairy festival tomorrow night, a Midsummer Night Dream. So it's going to be a little late for you, Cheryl, in England, but it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So the animals, what they're doing, how they're acting, if they're hanging out with you. I did a retreat once in when I lived in California, in Carlsbad, and Julie was there. And it was for Lionsgate, which is 888. And it was a trip through the chakras up the Nile of Egypt. Now, I've been to Egypt, so I had statues in the room from Egypt that had the energy, that were sculpted like this one of Thoth. And I have schooling in the Egyptian mystery schools and all these different things. So we were doing activations for each center, going into the ethers and traveling shamanically to these temples through time and space, and then working with the energies that are there. And after everybody left the retreat, I went outside and I sat in my little yard. And this big scarab beetle, about that big, it was all those green, blue, magical colors. I don't even know if they exist there, because I've never seen one, and I never saw one again. Suddenly appeared, looked just like a scarab in the Egyptian stuff we just did, and proceeded to spend an hour and a half in my hair. It was walking through my hair, and it would stop and it would start weaving my hair, and then it went all around my crown. I mean, if this thing wasn't doing a third eye crown awakening activation from some other time realm, from ancient Egypt, the many lives and things that I've done with that, or my other mystery schools, I don't know what. But Chris came out and started taking pictures of it, and then he brought me a framed photo I have on the wall of this exact jewelry, in ancient Egypt jewelry from the museum, that looked just like this scarab. So things you see in the physical form may not really be living in the physical form, and they might. But we also work with the spirit realms, and there's no time and space to any of them. So hi, Britt. Okay, so I'm going to share some more information on the slides, and then I want to know, what have you seen? So ask about any particular animal spirit guide or animal guide that you particularly like or want to get to know better, or has showed up recently, could be in person or not, and or something today. And because tomorrow's the solstice, so we're like dancing in our solstice light energy, lots and lots and lots of beautiful light. Okay, now hang on. I don't think I have. There you go. So the animal spirit guides that are really powerful to me in my life at this time. I started with the deer. when I first got into my spiritual path, I moved to New Mexico. I got the medicine cards. These were the only cards I used for a very long time. And if you're not familiar with them, they're beautiful animal cards that are a Native American and a bit of a blend of different Native American traditions. And they're quite beautiful. And they have dolphin, they have whale, right? But they focus a lot on the types of animals that are in those areas. And so when you're looking at the symbolism of a particular animal, you have to take into account there's different cultures and have different histories, have different meanings for the same animal. Where do you live? What is the meaning there? I recently had a really beautiful lady on my show who moved to Costa Rica with her little children and wants to get very back to nature, wants to learn from the local native grandmothers and curanderas, the healers. And she was so raw about how letting go of all of her ideals, her 3D ideals, right? And going here was such an intense journey, not from what we might think, like where's the money and stuff like that. However, it was the signs and the symbols and the medicine that was in the jungle and the medicine that was in everything that she was learning. And the grandmother that she was able to connect with who came out, she lives near a river, and she said, we stand by the river, and she starts to tell me about the land, about the plants, about the spirits, the nature spirits. And she said, what do you call the earth? You need to know the name of the earth where you live. Every people have a name for the earth, and it's different depending where you're living because your experience of the earth is different. The kinds of animals that live there is different. The kind of energy that is there is different. Mountain, cave, blah, blah, right? So on. So I thought that was I really enjoyed that idea that we have this opportunity to say, oh, okay, there's energy everywhere I go here because I live here. So if you live somewhere where there's a lot of squirrels, excuse me, like my children do, and my parents, then the squirrel is going to be something you see a lot. I don't see a lot of squirrels. We do have them. So I was on my retreat and we were in the jungle and we were going to a sacred well, a sacred cenote, a sacred underwater, we call it the mermaid cave because it has like a very mermaid vibe. Anyway, and what we did was we were walking through the jungle and we suddenly saw a black squirrel. And it didn't just like run across or happen to catch a glimpse of it. Again, this is what I mean by thinking about what it's doing. Did it interrupt you? Did it run in front of you? What is that saying? Intuitively, if it's in front of you, it's important. It's trying to get your attention. Okay. Did it chew the wires in your car? A squirrel did that once when I lived somewhere. It chewed the wires in my car. So what is it doing and why? And so today's animal messengers is understanding that these are symbols and that they have an overarching purpose and meaning, like we've discussed. That's interesting. And they also have personal meaning. They can have a historical meaning from different cultures. It's going to mean something different. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And again, I want to invite you to the summer camp. We're starting in July, middle of July, and we're going to have 7 amazing opportunities to come together in sacred space. And I really enjoy hearing that my clients say that when they're in the space with me, they can do things, see things, achieve things, understand things at such an accelerated rate, at such a clear rate. They can receive. But the thing is, even if they go home and they're not as good right away, they have experienced and gotten feedback of what's possible. And that's what I do. I create a space of possibility. It's between the worlds. It's a divine space, and it's filled with all kinds of different messengers, symbols and colors and rays and gods and goddesses and animal spirits. And inside of that, you bring your own. And it's aligned to your highest good and what's optimal for you at this time. So like this image that we made, we brought together the infinity symbol and the butterfly like we were just talking about. We could talk about for 6 hours, the meaning, the symbolism in that and the medicine in that. And it's going to strike you as in that moment, what does it mean for you? We have the triquetra, which is a Celtic symbol, which I love. I use in my goddess sanctuary. The infinity symbol, the heart, the Egyptian eye, which is actually your center of your brain, which represents the awakening of your higher centers so that you become a whole being again. And we've got the flower of life, which holds everything you need. And this is a picture of my sunrise on my front. So today we're doing animal messengers. Tomorrow's going to be the solstice midsummer night dream. Then we're going to do ascended masters and goddesses. Then we're going to co-create and increase our intuitive things with elementals. This is fun. I'm talking like sylphs and gnomes and the salamanders that work with the fire realms, elements, and magical realms, okay? And then we're going to end with spiritual mentors through time and past lives, because past lives, other lives that you've lived, other potential lives that you could live, and mentors that you've had or you've been. You could be your own spiritual mentor from another life. You could be somebody who they need you, and together you heal. So there's really a lot of depth in the messages, messengers, and medicine you can get from that. So everybody loves animals. That's the great thing. Like I said, a month or so ago, I said to one of my intuition classes, I said, I want you all to start to notice the signs that are around you. And almost always it's through an animal or weather or the moon or something like that. So they hold medicine. Medicine, I did a show yesterday, so make sure you go there. We have a playlist just for this. You want to subscribe below so you get the notifications when I go live. And what you want to do is think about, okay, what is the message of this? That's what's carrying the medicine. So the medicine is whatever you need at this time. It could be a solution or an answer. It could be a healing to a physical pain. It could be a release of grief that you just can't let go of. It can work with you, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. It can work in your finances. It could work in all different levels. That's not your concern. Your concern is to be in the present moment, as clear as possible, connected to your highest good and what is optimal to you at this time, because that's your job. Your job is not to know and figure out or to drag around the past or to try to blame everyone else and wallow around in low states of consciousness. You want this. You are ready for this. Your soul says, shit, yeah, let's do this. I'm tired of wandering around feeling alone and confused. It isn't that you're never going to have anything break down or turn into something new or not go the way you want. It's that you realize that you're not alone. You're not alone, meaning there's a bigger picture here. I have a bigger mission than just worrying about all my pains and sadnesses and poor me and that blaming that person. That is a form of deep egoism. And I was shocked when I came out of my many, many years of just being so consumed with not being good enough and consumed with my lack of self-esteem, and then wanting to, just get rid of it or break free of it and wanting other people to understand it. And yet I couldn't receive through that barrier what I wanted. So this is an inside job. So what did I tell you? You're reflecting the world around you. So if 9 flamingos show up at sunrise, that's not just an incredible sign from the magical kingdom of the flamingos and their consciousness and everything they mean. No, it is. And I'll show that to you today and explain a little bit more about flamingos because they're pretty cool. However, what it really means is that, oh my gosh, I've cleared, cleansed, aligned, attuned, upgraded, whatever. I've shifted my intuitive network, receptors, senses, my ability to see. I could have sat there and not seen them. They made no sound, and I could have not noticed them at all. That's how hard they are to see. I literally had to be standing there at that moment, and I had to turn my head from the sunrise to the side and look long enough to perceive the movement. This was not like an accident, okay? This was very intentional, and it means that I let the message through. I saw it. I could have missed it. Now, there's no way for me to consciously have said, now flamingos are going to be flying by today, so make sure you're at this place at this moment. I can't plan that. That's why you have to let go and be in the flow of your own incredible natural affinities, natural talents and abilities. So it's so significant, right? And so we tap into the medicine of animal messengers through the 3D form. So I now have two beautiful girl cats, kittens living here on my patio. We're bringing them in a little bit day by day, in and out, to see if this is truly their home. It's starting to feel like they're here. But when they came, I knew from the minute that they showed up, the stray animal on a wall screaming for food, that I didn't just have a loving heart, because I have a long history with animals in my life, and businesses and healing and animal communication was all my first business in spirituality. And I was doing a business of pet sitting in a place where I took care of as many goats and horses and buffaloes and snakes as cats and dogs. So it was very profound, and it was during a healing and my deep breakdown and my deep spiritual awakening that animals came to me. And I think the reason is that most of them hold a space of unconditional love. They don't have an agenda. They don't think like we do. And being around them, it was less painful, because my fashion design business had closed. Nobody paid me. I was a big success for about 3 years, and then they all stopped paying, and then the economy crashed, and even the department stores went bankrupt. So I was in a massive breakdown of every part of my identity, literally everything I'd done, everything I'd learned, everything I planned, everything I believed in, from my family and my culture and my work ethic and everything. It just all went. And so as I started on my spiritual path, I was called to New Mexico, and I started to do all these different things that are available there. However, the animals were the first thing that came through to me. So these realms in ancient cultures were very important, and the connection to the region or the history, we talked about that. The strong medicine that animals have is that when they were revered or sacred or communicated with in temples or ceremonies or natural vortexes or portals, then there becomes a different kind of relationship or vortex or beauty to that animal. So spirit guides represent the overall archetype. This is kind of what we talked about already, so I'm going to go pretty quick. That overriding collective energy power and the species. So all turtles represent a thing, and then different kinds of turtles represent another aspect together with that. And then that particular turtle that you're picking up in your yard and redirecting back down to the beach because it's just been born represents something else altogether. And so when I moved in and I had turtles born on my land, it was so moving, so profound, so intense for me to have that blessing and to get to see that and to get to interact with that experience. It absolutely still charms the pants right off me. So the cat species has a particular mission. The flowers, okay, any particular thing. Well, I don't know why I put flowers. We're talking about animals. So we've talked about all of this. How many you see, what they're doing, what particularly were you thinking about, or what is a big challenge or question in your mind at the time or in your life at the time. So all these things. What did it interrupt? Was there a thought? So remember, tomorrow is our summer solstice fairy festival. We're not done yet. Don't worry. I just wanted to remind you it's tomorrow night, and it's 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And there's so much magic. And if you know, the whole Midsummer Night Dream is all about fairies and the fairy kingdoms and all of the fun and the frolic and the play and the sex and just like the beauty and the wonder of the fairy kingdom, and at the peak of summer, because we're receiving this beautiful download from the sun. It's the longest day of the year. It's the most gold ray and sun elixirs that will come. So we're going to do fairy readings. We're going to do fairy love baths. That's what they tell me. I'm not sure what that one means. Gold ray elixirs, they're going to make up for us. Somehow we're going to receive those because it's the sun. They're taking the gold ray from the sun and making elixirs for us. And we're going to have this magical festival. Hopefully I'll have some music here for you. And we're going to play and channel the magical realms on this beautiful summer's eve. So that's tomorrow. Now, what we want to do is think about the two different, let's just categorize either animals in form and animals in spirit. Can be many, many, many different levels, right? That these animals could exist at. Could be an animal that you used to own in a physical body that comes to you a lot. I had a cat named Sasha that I got in college, my first voluntarily cat that I got all on my own. And we went through a lot together, college, first marriage, you know, babies, everything. And she lived to be 19. And after she died, she walked with me. It was like there was an invisible glass floor right above my head. And she was walking right there, right to my left, her little pads, poop, poop, poop. I could see her out of the corner of my eye. And she would just walk around with me everywhere for a couple weeks after she left her body. And slowly she started to, you know, to be there less, and until that stopped altogether, that way that we connected. However, your animals you're connected to forever, their spirit is going on to do something else too. Sometimes it comes back to you. Sometimes it goes on to do something else. But the beautiful thing is to think about all the animals and all the people alive on the planet now. And we all have had interactions and lives with each other. And if we were all healing ourselves, if we were all using the opportunity to be guides, healers, based on what we can do, okay, what we own, our blueprint, our medicine, our qualities, our powers, our expertise is our medicine. It's what we gift to the world. Are we using it in a way that hurts people or helps? Are we using it in a way that hurts us or helps us? So the entire balance and health of the planet is also the health of the animals, or the health of our bodies, or the health of everything in Gaia. You can't say, oh, I hope that the world heals, except over here, I'm going to poison it, right? You have to start to realize that in form or out, you're going to have different relationships, and you're going to have different vibrations and different messages. So like in homeopathy, the higher the potency is, the less physical substance is actually in the medicine, until there isn't a detectable, scientifically wise, any more actual medicine in it, actual flour or whatever you use to make the medicine. And then when I learned it, and I learned radionics, I got radionics instruments, which meant I could go and make potencies that you go to the store and you could get maybe 30C. I don't know if you can get any higher than that. And that's a very physical, more physical medicine, and it works great for physicality things, bruises and so on. However, we were working with the soul. So we were using frequencies of 1M, 10M, 5M, 100M. And these are impossible to grasp the high frequency of these. However, these go into your soul. They go into these higher levels of vibration of your light body. And they heal at the core instead of by force from within. I need to change this habit. I need to change this habit. Instead, if something happens, boom, 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 bah, done. I'm not doing that anymore, right? You can have it come from another place within you. So all of the missions of the animals that you've had are still connected to you, and they might be alive in another body somewhere. So that's a light connection. Imagine a little thread of light from you to maybe Sasha. Maybe my Sasha came back in another body. If not, I still have a cord of light out to her in the ethers, into whatever realm, or into my mental space that carries, or into my Akasha, the Akashic records, which carries an imprint of everything that's happened. So I could go up there and go back through everything that ever happened with her. However, that means we're connected, and now we can start to say, I'm connected to so many other people, to so many other animals, to so many other places on this planet, so many other cultures, to so many other sacred schools, to so many other wisdoms that I knew. It's time for me to become that multidimensional being, okay, that I am. and let the animals in your life, the animal spirit guides in your life, come to you through a lot of different directions. So if you live with an animal, of course, the cats are incredible healers because their quality is detachment. What that means is that if you had a cat or you know cats at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Cats are not afraid of asking for what they want. They come over, they rub on you, pet me now. They say they want to eat food. Then when they're done being pet, they go walk away or they swat at you. They say, no, I'm done, that's enough. And we get emotional about it, like, oh, fine, or whatever, maybe add some human emotion to it. But that's exact, clear communication. They're not attached to any emotional agenda, right? They're like, oh, that was great. I needed to be pet. Thank you. Oh, that was awesome. Oh my gosh. They love everything they do. They play full out. They eat full out. They sleep a lot. What does that mean? They're astral. They leave their body like this. And the reason they're excellent healers is they're not attached to any story. So they can take your cancer, they can take your emotional instability, they can take your fear, they can take your poison in your body from a bug bite. I don't know. They can take anything in your house or your body, and then they take it on and they transmute it. They're not attached to it. They just suck it up like a straw and stick it out in the astral field and let it go. And it can go back to wherever it needs to go to be infinite energy again. So dogs aren't that way. They're very, very wonderful. They carry the quality of loyalty, which means that they will take on your disease and have it in their body and perhaps even die from it, but they don't care. It's not they don't care. They love you. They just love. They just have pure loyalty. That's it. It's unequivocal, and they're carrying that quality for the planet. So any dog you've interacted with that you loved, imagine now that you have heartstrings, heart light that goes out to all of them, wherever they may be, their essence, and the time you had with them, the beauty, the love, the healing, the comfort they gave you, whatever it was. Maybe you were given a dog when you were a little girl and you wanted it real bad, never thought you were going to get it. And you see these wonderful videos now where somebody gets a dog and they were, didn't think they were going to, some little girl or boy or something. And the delight, I mean, they cry and they're shocked and they're so overwhelmed with joy. They can't even absorb it at first. It's just wonderful. All of that still exists for you to tap into. So remember, you can call on them. Now, because I was pregnant with my daughter, Jordan, who later died when I went on my wild dolphin swim a long, long time ago, dolphins, of course, have always been a huge medicine and messenger for us, between us, or for other things related to that. Now, animals have a mission. So when I was learning animal communication, I was doing Tellington Touch, which is a form of energy healing, specifically with animals at the time. And I got into human healing because the people who own the animals wanted to, can you do that with me? So I was like, okay. So, and I had a lady who fed a lot of stray cats, and she left a old car in her driveway open and let them go in and out and live there. And she didn't try to catch them. One of them was very sick, so she asked me to start coming over and doing healing work. She really couldn't pet or touch them. We did get to where we could bring the one girl inside as she was leaving her body. However, I had these amazing conversations with these cats. And basically what they told me is we love her so much. She respects and honors us to know that we have a mission. We have something to do. We have to be outside. We have to have our paws on the land. And they started showing me images of their paws are connecting to the earth, and then these energy grids are forming, and they're speaking, and they're doing work through the earth, in the earth, to other cats on other sides of the planet, and all this other stuff. It's a whole interesting story. And it was quite profound. One cat did ask me for an amethyst egg. So I bought this very expensive, beautiful amethyst egg, and I gave it to her to bury with the cat in the back. But she had it with her for whatever reason. She wanted that. And the cat was able to convey her respect, her honor, her love for this lady, that she completed her mission. That a lot of cats don't complete their mission because their mission wasn't to be captured and put inside and never let outside again. For some cats, that is their mission, So that's why it's very important for me to take the cats that showed up on my doorstep and know that I'm doing what's right for their soul, not what I want for my heart, because of course I love them, but if they have a place that's part of their mission, it's important that I know that and I find that for them. I'm the conduit for that. So even extinct animals like the dodo, there's this great station, the dodo. If you don't watch it and you're an animal lover, you got to watch it. It still represents something. It has the energy and essence and medicine and mission still in the ethers and in the akasha and the cells of the planet, because it did live here once. So shapes and symbols, remember, we use them for crests, we use them for logos, for royal families, the lion being a very popular one, the snake being a very popular one, for schools, for teams, right? The power of the caduceus, the medical symbol, which they've just really wrecked recently by taking one snake away, because that's what they want. They want you to think there's one path. So that represents the kundalini going up your spine. And symbols are vital to our psyche and to communication. And so when you start to realize maybe you're more drawn to the Native American interpretation, or maybe you're drawn to the Chinese interpretation, or maybe you're drawn to some other meaning for something that doesn't have, nobody else said it meant at all. So it's this intuitive deciphering, right? However, I want you first and foremost as you go out today to realize that if you see something, and it doesn't have to be an animal, but we just happen to be talking about that. If any sign, any message, any messenger shows up for you, I want you, number one, to feel really good about yourself. Put your hand on your heart and say, oh, take a nice breath in and say, good for me, good for me. Why? Because that animal guide is there. All these guides are here all the time, 24/7. It's not that no one's talking to you, guiding you, helping you, or having something that will solve your problems. It's that you haven't allowed yourself to listen, you haven't cleared, you haven't attuned, you haven't aligned. So what it means when you see it, even if you don't understand what it means right away or ever, you want to get excited that you saw it. I love this. Thank you for this. More of this, please. Okay? So then take a look around, I don't know what graph was supposed to mean. Totem animals, medicine animals, guides were vital to humans depending on where they lived. It really is the place, right? So they could tell you and teach you. The jaguar too was a sacred god to the Maya, but they saw her as the teacher of humans, how to live on the earth, how to have a silent footprint on the earth, how to know where to live, how to be unseen yet see what you need to see, how to move between these earth realms, and how to be one with spirit and in a body. So that is a very big energy where I live. Where you live, it might be something else. So like I was saying, in the jungle, we saw this black squirrel and it did this whole up and down a tree and back and forth. And I got like 4 videos and it was talking to us like crazy, right? Everything it was doing was unusual, that it stayed there, that we saw it. And yet if I went to visit my parents and I saw a squirrel, I would not be like, oh my God, it's a sacred message, right? So the other thing is, remember what we're talking about. Medicine is the frequency or the energy within something. It's how it affects you. It's what you think it means, but it's also all the other programming you have. If you see the ocean, do you go into fear because you don't swim, or you nearly drowned there once? Or do you see the ocean and feel you're free, you can breathe, and you wish you were out there on a boat? So remember, all energies are different. Now, there's the thing is, all energy can harm or heal you and anyone else. So you want reflections in your life. You want signs and symbols and messages in your life to start to come through this outer screen, right? And you want to notice them. Well, you have to give the respect to them to say, I'm going to notice them. And then sit down and say, did I see any messengers today? Did I receive any messages? Let me check. Then you can go back like you're checking your email, right? And say, what was the medicine I really needed? Why do I feel better? Or what was the medicine I really needed? And if I believe that my soul is all the time sending me soul messengers through every form that it can, and I saw this, this, and this today, then that must be that some way of the medicine that my soul knows I need getting through to me. Okay? So remember, on this note, sharks, okay, we go, oh, sharks are scary. We saw Jaws, and they sometimes eat people. Apparently they don't like people, so it's kind of an accident, but Doesn't matter when they cut you in half with one bite. Oops, sorry. So we project an emotion on them. We might say they're evil, they're full of hatred, they're anger. We play doo-doo, 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 because we're trying to create fear, right? And we think violence and war, and we project these kinds of emotions. You can't do that, okay? They might reflect back to us certain things, but that is not what a shark is. A shark doesn't have that, okay? Now, I can promise you that the intention is for its own mission, its own survival. And whatever it does, you need to know and get out of the way, or know how to live with it in a way that you don't put your physical body into danger, okay? So, but these things that scare you, what does that mean? It means they affect you. They have an influence on you. They trigger fear. They trigger emotion. They figure limitations. They make you recoil. They make you stop. They make you not go on a plane or not go in the water. I actually had a lady who came to my retreats who was afraid of water and afraid of heights. And we climb pyramids and we go in the ocean and we go into caves with water. So I was like, why are you coming? Because my soul said, I need the medicine. I need to come there. I need to go to these places. It's going to hold my healing. And she was very serious. She came twice. It was quite stunning. And everybody helped her. And she did everything. It was amazing. Even at the Dolphin Day, the end of the, one of the things we do is called a dolphin healing meditation. And the dolphins are free to swim around us, do whatever they want. And we see them pictures later. It's quite incredible. They do all this work with us. We get all these comfy things under us and we float around and we go into very deep meditation for an hour. Well, her being afraid of water, they had a lady there that stayed with her. And she floated. She was able to close her eyes and completely go into the meditation because the lady was just standing there holding her, making sure she didn't float. She was right on the side, right where she knew she could sit up. So all of these things, take a look around what resonates with you. Oh, this culture thought that. This culture felt this. This was, you might come here with me and you might be afraid of snakes because you were taught snakes are evil. However, you're going to change your mind once you see how the Maya and the Egyptians and a lot of the cultures, it's probably the #1 animal of the whole world that represents the most powerful thing. So to the Maya, it represents your guide back to your spiritual self. You descended down from being a god, from being everything, into this form. And it's a guide back and forth through life. Shed the old, know that you have everything you need within, just slide out of that old you. Now you're perfectly formed, keep moving up, back and forth. You go with the flow, up and down, and then you reclaim your feathers. You're back at the top of the pyramid. You're back to the temple. You're back connected through your crown. So the Egyptians and many people used it to represent an awakened third eye, somebody who was enlightened, somebody who had a halo, somebody who was divine, somebody who was aware that they were divine and in physicality. And so much opportunity exists in all of these guides. So another example is rabbit. In different cultures, very different perspectives. Interestingly enough, rabbit represented fear in the medicine cards, and I never liked that because I love rabbits. Love rabbits. Used to see rabbits everywhere I lived. I don't see rabbits here. So in a lot of North American cultures thought that it represented fear, food, and fertility. It feeds most of the kingdoms, so it's very respected as a source of food and fertility because it produces an enormous amount of babies so that it can feed everybody, right? And yet if you look deeper, you could look at other cultures and see what it says. One says luck. One said, this is the year of the yin rabbit in the Chinese astrology, which means it's a home year. This is a feminine rabbit. So this is about homey and making your home comfy and safe and something that's underneath that you can retreat to that's safe, and having a lot in your stores and being in a soft, loving, warm space with a soft mother. The Maya believe the rabbits in the moon. I see the rabbit in the moon now. Why we were told it was the man in the moon, I don't know. I never could see the man in the moon, and now it's like, of course there's the rabbit. But she's the moon goddess, fertility, rainbow moon, all kinds of wonderful things. Shell, her name. And she's always depicted with the rabbit as one of her totems because she's the goddess of the moon. So the rabbit in the moon is with her. It's her power animal. It's maybe sitting at her feet. Chinese year of the rabbit, we talked about, and in another spirit oracle, it means luck. you can see that the form that you see with your eyes, or when the spirit guide comes in form, are both relevant, but the more physical aspects of that message would probably be less important if it's a spirit guide. Another way to decipher the messages is to look at what it's telling you, what it's relevant for you. So the goat, I actually had goats, real goats, 2 goats, Augie and Nellie. Wonderful, wonderful. What an honor to get to know a goat. Wow, I have to tell you, amazing sense of humor. Now, my children are Capricorns, my dad, many of my friends, I've had a lot of Capricorns in my life. That's represented by a goat. And I learned a lot about goats, about the astrology of goats, as well as having goats. They're very sure-footed. They love to climb. They can climb any kind of rocky, uneven thing. If you think about that in terms of your life, wow, it doesn't, I don't have to have a smooth surface. Everything doesn't have to be laid out in front of me. I could climb the highest mountain. I could see what's over that. I could be sure-footed in uncertain times, right? The energies of what this means. Now, they're playful, they're stubborn, there's a lot of other stuff going on there. And so you can look into if there's a zodiac sign with an animal, that will give you a little bit more. Like the lion has cat energy. It represents detachment, but it also represents the sun and the self and the positive ego and a bonfire of beingness, just like, boo, I am here, right? And one day I was at home with a very powerful spiritual friend, and it was spring. And we were talking with my mom. We look out the window. My dad and my 2 children were running towards each other, charging with their heads down, butting heads like 3 actual goats. And she was teaching me at the time some of the zodiac signs and understanding Capricorns especially, as well as Cancer, and was my ex. And she said, oh, it's spring and the goats are playing. Look, and honestly, we couldn't even speak. We just watched. It was so funny how the goat energy was in them. It was spring. They were playing. They were butting heads and having a great time. So when you're seeing this, we talked about that, collective consciousness, different states. The dolphins have been extremely profound for me, and they've come through, realize every being has multiple dimensions. You do as well. You have a higher self that knows more about you and your plan. You have a soul blueprint that knows more about that. You have an I am presence that knows even more about your spiritual qualities. And so do all of these animals and everything else in form. So you can talk to the spirit essence of a dolphin or a squirrel or a rabbit or a horse or a lizard or a butterfly or a seahorse or a cat or a moose, or I'm just opening up something, a wasp or dolphins, thank you, and buffalo. And you don't have to see them in person to tune into their energies, okay? If you have animal oracle cards, you can play with those too, right? So what's interesting is that the ancient beings, they were here. So they've been here a long time. They have those. There's no time, right? The time and space is a structure. So we can access the dolphins that lived 3 million years ago or whatever. Apparently flamingos were here 30 million years ago or something. That's what I read, which kind of blows my mind. But so billions of years ago, there were whales and dolphins, and we can talk to those. Those are energy beings. They know something different. The ones that were around all through time when the earth was forming or different things were happening. Wouldn't it be fascinating to receive a message or get some medicine from something pure, from something from a different time? If it's relevant for your highest good, this is what's possible. Now, of course, there's the wise aspect, the collective aspect of the dolphins, because it takes the collective wisdom and it's kind of like a council, and they're there to sort of disseminate the general dolphin overarching archetype energies. And then they also help appoint dolphin realms or dolphin spirit guides or other things to people who are ready for that. If you're ready for your dolphin guide, then those dolphin collectives will do that. Of course, there's dolphins all over the world in different waters and physical form, and they all have spirit body. You can talk to them, even if you're not there. And if you come on my retreat, you'll touch them, kiss them, hold them, hug them, heal with them, and you will have such a powerful connection when you leave. They will never leave your side. So then there's the consciousness of the dolphins on the whole planet, and then and it's not supposed to say and it is their mission in this life to assist us in ascending the earth and raising the frequency of us and the waters and the planet. That's one of the reasons they've become pretty intense recently. So there's also crystal dolphin realms, rainbow dolphin realms, moon dolphins, all these different things that have been coming through me. I'm putting them together in a book. We're going to have either a class or a series or some kind of a medicine that's going to come through this that you'll be able to learn how to work with these. So when you receive a message from an animal spirit, there's always more to it than, ooh, it made me happy today, right? The mystical, magical, deeper, spiritual, esoteric, and symbolic meanings of animals goes very deep. So just be sure that you look around. We've talked all about this. What does it make you feel? What does it make you remember? Does it take you back to your childhood? So mine began with deer, then they went to horse. I think I was telling you that. Cats have always been important, dolphins, and then here jaguars, and the dolphin is equally important in life, both spiritually and physically in my business. And the snake has become very sacred, very divine to me because of Kukulkan. I literally had a near-death experience from a bee sting during the pandemic where I ended up in the emergency room for 12 or 16 hours. They couldn't stop it. Took over my whole body. And Kukulkan, that spirit guide, was there with me the whole time. I could feel and sense the being along my left-hand side. And it was just kind of a whisper, you know, kind of whisper thing. But it was constantly saying, dead, 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 dead. So the message was clear, the message was obvious, and that there's a lot more deep energy into a lot of what it's teaching, but I was literally shedding my skin, not just shedding old beliefs or fears or relationships or grief or whatever's in the moment. So, okay, let me take a clue here. Let me take a look and see if anybody has any animal spirit guides we want to talk to. Bear's message was, you're not alone and there's help available. Oh, that's nice. A visionary I met on the beach one day told me bears were there with a message for me. And they put a green jewel in my 22nd chakra to help bridge me to the visionary world. How fun! I wouldn't normally see. What's important about that is I wouldn't normally see that, think, oh, a bear, and then go look at thinking about vision. That's not what they typically embody. So it's really, that's what I'm saying is there's these generalities and then there's these specificness and then what it is for you. Wow, you're not alone. Well, that was like connecting you up. Cheryl said, I once had my hair wafted by the wing of a sparrowhawk chasing its prey. Wow. It changed direction so as not to run straight into me. That was intense. A lot of bird energy, winged energy, actually. We have blackbirds, great tits nesting in our garden. I found a black feather on our doorstep a few weeks ago, too. That's really lovely. I love the black feather. That's very nice. So depending where you are, if you find feathers, they're always a wonderful gift, but I rarely find feathers, unusually. So one time I was at a pyramid and I was walking ahead of the people I was with, and then I stopped, and about a foot ahead of me, or 2 feet, was a flamingo feather, but I didn't see it. I stopped and I turned around to see where everybody was, and Carlos walked past me, walked up and went, oh my gosh, picked it up, and we're like, we weren't even near water. Okay, this is inland. This is a site that was inland. So I was upset that I missed getting the feather, but I also realized I probably stopped because it wasn't meant for me, and he gave it to Michelle, who I love. Fox energy came to me, Cheryl said, my love, recently twice. Very unusual to see them. One crossed the road in front of us, and another came to feed by us on the beach within a couple days. So that's very significant, right? The fox, I love foxes. I was in London once, late at night. I mean, like really late at night, like maybe 4 in the morning. We're coming back to our hotel near Parliament on the in a taxi, and we saw a fox. I think that happened twice. I didn't even think that there was anything alive and living in London that could do that. So, well, this is very interesting, Cheryl. I picked up my medicine card book, and it literally opened to fox. So let's see what they say. Fox, where are you? Under the ferns, becoming the forest so I can learn. Are you watching, invisible to me, trying to teach me to become a tree? Well, this book says Fox is about camouflage. And let's see if I can. They're very good at hiding. The woodlands provide protection and much medicine. They're able to vanish. The flora is the fox's ally. The ability to meld into one's surroundings and be unnoticed is a powerful gift when one is observing the activities of others. Another natural gift of fox is the ability to adapt in winter by changing color, like a chameleon. Also swift, cunning, observative, adaptable, swiftness in thought and action, quick decisiveness, and sure-footedness. So it feels to me like it's coming to talk to you guys about a decision, about its quick-footedness because it's connected to the earth. It feels very grounded in its body, and it's able to be aware and then make these decisions without overthinking them. And it also seems to say, let's see, here it says, use your cunning nature in a positive way. Keep silent about who, what, and why you are observing, and learn the art of camouflage to weave into any location or situation. Become like the wind, unseen. Be wise and observe. Very, very interesting. So I want to bring a message from Fox and spider. Yeah, that's so great. I'm so glad someone saw a spider. Spiders are one of those other things that bring fear. Snakes, spiders, sharks, that everybody freaks out. And I raise my kids not to kill anything, and then they learn from other people to do it. But I did learn from the Native American in New Mexico that you always want at least one spider in your house. So if I know where there's a little spider, I keep it. And I've even lived with, outside of my house, black widows in New Mexico. When they started showing up around my house outside, I was learning animal communication. So I asked them to please stay outside, and then we have an agreement and I won't have to do anything because I didn't want to kill anything. And I had little babies. So I said, you stay out of the house. I'll let you do whatever you want. And they never came in. And they even had babies at one point in one place. And so Spider Woman was the main thing to look up when it comes to spiders. A lot of the other interpretations of spiders I don't really find very accurate, but I do like the concept of Spider Woman. Of course, it's phenomenal how they carry with them the ability to weave their own web, to create their own home, to create something that can catch their food, that's gorgeous, that's made out of sacred geometry. There's a vibrational field around their web, way beyond what we get. We only see it as a place, for them to catch their food or to be. And if it goes away, they just remake it. If you've ever seen a spider can fly, they can fly and they just throw out a thread of silk and it'll just catch on something, and then they slowly lower themselves to the ground. So they're really agile in the air and in the earth, and they build webs, and we are one and the web of life and all that fabulous stuff, right? So eagle feather, wow, an eagle feather. Another, are you the one? Another client said that, like a really major kind of feather was on their path. I was like, wow. No, I think that was Deb. Well, it was somebody in one of my classes. Is that you? So, okay, I'm going to channel something, I think, here in a moment, and I wanted to see if this other card deck that I have, interestingly, earlier when I had the screen up, I was just opening the card deck for this. Dolphin came up, always. You might like this one. The cat came up, but it has spirit, cat spirit, you see? And I thought that was interesting to define, like we're talking about, is this a cat? Is this a physical cat thing? Claim your independence. They even got wings. How fabulous is that? All kinds of medicine there. See the little medicine, feathers, sacred geometry. I like reading the symbols in these cards. The wasp came up. If this is a message for anyone, you also look at the number, right? 64. Why they picked that, I don't know. But this one has also medicine coming, feathers, and this beautiful, beautiful symbol here. I got horse spirit. Good. Freedom is yours. Look at that symbol on the third eye right there. So rabbit came through earlier. There's rabbit spirit. So again, also has kind of like wings. And buffalo spirit. And I actually did have the blessing of getting to take care of a buffalo and to live near some people who had buffalo and a baby buffalo that I would stop and be able to talk to from the side of the road. And of course, butterfly. Okay, so let's take a look and see if Fox is in here, and then we'll wrap up and see what the animal guides and the kingdoms want to share with us. I'm trying to make these shorter, and there's just about the animal guides that we could talk about. Okay, so what I want you to do with this each day is to start to become aware. I want you to make a medicine bundle, okay? So each day we're making a medicine bundle, and this is a medicine bundle that is consciously you becoming aware that there are certain things speaking to you. And you don't start with everything, you start with whatever you notice, whatever you see, whatever is able to get through to you, right? Fox Spirit 27, which is a 9, which I had 9 flamingos. Oh, I got to show you the flamingos. Think on your feet. Be alert. Move swiftly. Use your clever spirit and creativity. If things are rapidly changing, you are resilient. You have grace and astuteness. Trust your wits and your best judgment. Slip into a more advantageous situation. And are you camouflaging yourself to avoid intimacy? That doesn't sound really relevant to you. Okay, I want to show you this. Let me share my flamingos with you. Now, out my microphone. I'm not sure you're going to hear anything. Very cool. Let's do it again. So hopefully you could plug this back in. Hopefully you could enjoy that. That was this morning in the sunrise. So let's go ahead and take a moment to acknowledge this sacred space and all the animal spirit guides that have been coming through and the beautiful energies that are sharing with us through each of these people, through each of our lives, through each of our animals we have lived with throughout all the lives we've had on this planet. And we ask that a sacred connection of light be opened from our hearts to those who have medicine or messages that align with my soul's path and unfolding re-empowerment. Take a nice deep breath in. Really feel it opening up the third eye, the crown, bathing the brain all the way back. And let it go. I'm ready and willing, open and receptive to align with the animal guides in form and in spirit, in any life, in any time, that are optimal for my highest good, for me stepping onto my soul's path. I am here asking, be a clear communicator with the divine medicine messengers, guides that are optimal for my soul to rejuvenate, to remember, to release. We ask now that those animal spirit guides and kingdoms, we send our love and gratitude to all of you, time and space, for all those animals that we have loved, touched, and received a strong heart, life. We call on the animal spirit kingdoms, collective, the ancient wisdom and beings. Call on those from all times, from the ethers, those that are living in all realms, all layers of beingness, consciousness. I am a clear and open channel to the highest good. I am opening my heart, my mind, and my intuitive network to the animal spirit kingdom, the guidance, healing, inspiration that is optimal for me. Path. A deep breath in and watch the breath. How is it moving through your body? There is now appearing many, many animal guides in your belly, around your back. There's some holding your hips, shoulders, moving down the arms. There is a bear, big brown bear behind us, sitting like a solid chair almost behind you, being some kind of strength, protection, guiding your back. Loving mother energy, mama bear is very strong. Watch what you see in your stomach. Small turtle, rainbow fish. What animal? God has a message for you, for your own personal power, your own sun, your own willingness to receive the sun of the solstice, grow and shine. Relax and receive whatever animal guide you may be seeing, sensing, or feeling. Now the lion comes, but laying, big male lion laying on a rock, completely relaxed and at peace, sitting here. This is how you sit in your power. You lay in the center of your solar plexus and you receive the sun. You lounge, you let your tail wag, you stretch out, bathed in that golden sunlight. It begins to move through you, and all of the power that you already hold, all the codes that you already have in this sacred center, again, be fed, used. You don't have to roar, hunt, you don't have to fight. detach from what you think, power, courage, and being the king or ruler of your own reality or kingdom actually means. You never see me working hard. I relax, I enjoy, I never hide who I am. This way I am empowered all day. I provide protection for those who provide for me. Together, we are power without having to roar, to rip, or to even be courageous, unless it's required. The power. Be in your power, be in your light. Allow this solstice that is here upon us to infuse you with the gold ray. Remember, this is where your self resides. This is the cauldron of divine cold light, gold light, that requires its presence to grow in order to warm the seeds of your soul's plant. Relax and detach from everything. The horse is coming through now, galloping right into the middle of this beautiful, relaxed sun. But this horse is rising up on its back legs from your root. It's saying, it's time, it's time, it's time. I'm not staying in the pen anymore. I'm not holding my strength back. I'm designed to be free. I'm designed to run. I'm designed to throw my mane in the air. I know I have the strength. I'm loving and kind and tolerant. I allow all those around me to do what they will. And now it's my time. Now it's my time, and I'm rising up. I'm realizing the strength I have. I have no ill will towards anyone, and I detach from everything. Thank you, lion. Thank you, lion. Thank you, lion. Now you run, you break free, you leave behind you the stable, the barn, the walls, the limits, the ropes, the chains, the bits, anything in your life that has defined you, limited you, controlled you. Freedom. Spirit has given you wings. Now, beautiful, divine, white owl flies down to us, lands in our crown center, perched above, stretching its white wings out. It has very gold pale eyes, the yellow beak. The white has flecks of gold on the edge of every feather. Stretches the wing out. I am here to show you that wisdom comes from this place when you allow the power of the lion and the sun, the freedom of the horse, to let free within you your deepest secrets. You allow now for that energy to rise within you, to trust that in your soul and in your cells and in your blueprint you have everything you need. You are a seed planted by the plan of the greater, higher good. You are a seed of goodness. You are a seed of light. You've been buried believing this isn't true. Now, I bring you the medicine of an awakened crown. The wings spread because the energy has been freed from you, your truth. The horse has freed the Kundalini from your 8 original cells. The lion warming and teaching you. Lay, stand, and enjoy your power. You are a never-ending source of light, sun, and gold. Now there is a guide, a lighting on your left, right. Point your finger. You might see something else. Mine is a dragonfly. It is a dragonfly that is showing me itself very close up from the side. How you see things also tells you a lot of information, close or from far, symbol or sound, movement, stillness, green and blue, and stands on the finger, watching. Says it's ready to take what I want to manifest in the world. That energy will come down through this right arm into the finger and project into the world like a wand. It will carry between the worlds. It will levitate past the barriers, and it will see to it that it has this guardian with all the vision, the magic. You. The final spirit guide in the animal kingdom wishes to speak today. The dolphin. The dolphin is swimming around the heart and arms, swimming up the throat, the eyes, going all the way down into the sacral and spinning around, around, arc, comes back up and down. Dolphin spirit says, when we weave, we reweave. When we flow, we are infused, powered, we grow. You do not receive, you do not grow, you do not accept, you do not receive. The trap is here within the very fabric of thought. That fabric of thought, something we move through up and down, and we weave our own crystal net through this conscious collective, and it is beginning change. Now come, go down to the deepest depths, spiral back up to the highest heights of your divinity. Come back down with joy, knowing that there are limitations at every level of beingness and every state of consciousness, but you're here for the joy, for the ride, for the medicine. Down again you go to the deepest depths of your soul, and this beautiful rainbow dolphins, silver, there looks to be some blue dolphins here. Some of them are sticking their nose into the sand at the bottom of this. Is this into your root? Are they showing you something? Is there something buried here? I think they are. One dolphin is just staying, pointing straight down, stuck its nostrum in the sand. There's plants around it. It's just staying there. So go and receive what's there for you. Move the sand away, and what begins to appear. Say that you're willing to receive. Take your left hand and put it down. Whatever you feel or sense, or whatever you don't feel or sense, accept it now. And draw your hand back as if you're pulling it out of the ethers. Bring it back up in front of your heart. the treasures that are buried in your sacral. They've brought you to one. You've recovered it now. See, sense, or perceive it. Stay with it. Even if you don't, you feel gratitude. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. This is just the treasure I've been looking for. This is just the medicine that I've needed. This is exactly it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to the space and to the animal spirit kingdoms. Thank you to all of these beautiful, wise beings that have come today, the bear and the fox, the dolphin, the flamingo, the cat, the buffalo, the butterfly, the dragonfly, all of you from the goat to the rabbit and all the others. Thank you for bringing me your wisdom and your messages. I accept. Thank you for bringing your medicine. I allow my higher self, my body elemental, my I am presence, and the guards and guardians of my soul's plan, powers, and blueprint to take these medicines and energies with graciousness, gratitude, and grace and integrate them in, as is ideal and optimal for my soul's purpose at this time. And so it is. Breathe in. Anchor everything into the body. Let it go down. Feel it go out your feet. And now the dolphins come up through the feet, through the body, through the root, sacral, belly, heart, throat, eyes, out the crown. I accept all that has been gifted, released, remembered, and begun. Thank you for the sacred journey. I enter my body and this moment as a conscious creator. I walk with these animal spirit guides and those that are optimal for me each moment. I accept my powers. I release the past, the fear, and the pain. And I step from this moment into the sun of the solstice, the medicine from the gold ray, from the divine great central sun, from the sun of my 12th chakra and sun, my solar plexus, all levels of the divine gold ray. I receive the medicine that is perfect, optimal, nourishing, empowering, and inspiring for my mission on every level of my being. And so it is, 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 and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May this circle be unbroken, yet open. As we each move our own way, may we take our medicine with us, that we spread the most beautiful love and light, that we share these messages that we know and trust wherever they go, they will heal and help and assist. With love, graciousness, and gratitude, I am that I am. I am guided. I am loved. I am whole. I am on my path. And so it is. In la quechua Latin, we are another you. You are another us. We are one. Namaste. Well, thank you, everyone. I know this has gone quite long, and I apologize. However, it was way fun, and I loved playing with you. Let me see what you guys said. Hi, Boo. Oh, goody. I had a feather also. Britt says, last week while we were camping, I put it in my latest Instagram, Facebook post. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love putting them. I always take whatever I do find, put them on an altar or in a pouch, And if I'm doing a retreat or I'm going to sacred places or going to natural places like that, Brittany, it's great to collect whatever that natural place is gifting you with. Realize that it is part of medicine. And it's fun to even take a little pouch with and gather. I like a little stone. Doesn't have to be fancy stone. Could just be the stone because it came from the pyramid or it came from the lake or it came from the sacred tree that you sat next to, right? So beautiful. Ocean Goddess says, when a out of the ordinary mammal, animal, or insect crosses my path, I always look up the spirit. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we were talking about, is that if something happens that's out of the ordinary, that's unusual, remember that wild animals, they do not need to be seen. There's a rare occasion of something that, they don't have any way not to be seen. But in general, if you see it, there's an intention there. 100%. Yeah. Spider, yep. Oh, Cheryl said yes. The meaning, I think, may be to do with this situation with my friend. Oh, good. Also, the eagle feather, we saw that. Dolphins have shown up for me since I was 16 and have come close to me in the ocean. Isn't that exciting? So exciting. Just so wonderful. It's one of the most things. I believe I tend to avoid intimacy, Brittany said. Interesting. So I would agree with that based on the one job you had a while ago and how you did not like that at all. Yeah. Your brain, your smarts, your ability to work hard, your get it done, organizer mom self, that's a good way to do it. Love horses. I visit a horse ranch regularly. Oh, good for you. I haven't seen a horse in a long time, but I learned Tellington touch with horses, dogs, cats, and people too. But we used to go to a horse place. And I never had a horse. I never rode horses regularly, but I learned how to ride at a camp very young when I was 7. And so they've been in and out of my life. And being a Sagittarius, of course, that freedom, that sense of strength and running and movement and air, I get emotional when I see wild horses that are free. Butterfly is about change of freedom. We're all undergoing a big transformation. You got that right. Diamond alignment. Oh, good. Flamingos are beautiful. I just love the pink color. Me too. Okay, everybody, I will see you tomorrow for the Solstice Festival. And in the morning, I am going to see Beal Shaltoon. And this is actually, if you can tolerate hanging around a minute, I'll see if I can find you a picture. This is a truly stunning thing that I think I might have it in an email. It'd be the fastest way to show it to you. I'm going to a pyramid tomorrow, or an ancient Mayan site that is currently, they think, one of the older ones. And it doesn't have a big, tall pyramid. It's got a lot of different structures. And at the end of a very long pathway, it has a temple with a door. Unusual shape, size, everything, right? And then all of a sudden, in the equinox, the sun rises through the archway of the pyramid. Not seeing it. Oh, maybe it's here. Okay. And what happens is you get a solar initiation to the third eye. It comes through the temple, it hits you in the third eye, and then you go before dawn. It's just this amazing epic experience. And then every 10 minutes you can move forward and you re-experience it. You move forward enough that it rises again and you receive another one and another one. I think I got 12 by the time I got as close as you can get to the temple. It is profound. Now that only happens on the solstice, so I mean on the equinoxes, so I won't be getting that tomorrow and they don't open at 5 a.m. However, I am going to that temple because it is the solstice in the morning, so I'll share some of that energy with you. I'm going to do my own little solstice, and I'm going to talk to the Alush, which is the Mayan word for nature spirits and fairies. Shanas, Shanas, here's how it's pronounced. So, okay. Mwah. Love you guys. Take care.